What happened when someone asks you what you do for a living and you no longer have an answer? Few months ago, I walked out of my corporate job for the last time, and after that move, something around 35 days later, my bank account was looking terrifying. By day 60, I noticed I always wake up at 3 a.m. wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. And by day 90, I finally understood what nobody tells you about going full time on YouTube. You don't just quit a job, you quit an identity. The first 90 days are nothing like the success stories you see online. It's about the psychological warfare of trading security for uncertainty, the financial chaos of unpredictable income, the time management trap that almost broke me, and the tree system that helped me turn all of it into something sustainable. If you're thinking about making this leap or you are already in the middle of it, here is what you actually need to know. For years, I lived inside a structured system. Alarm went off in the morning. I showered, drove to work, meetings, lunch break, more meetings, then drive back home. It was predictable and safe, even if I don't like it, but I was used to it. Then suddenly it was gone. Week one felt like freedom. I woke up without an alarm, made coffee slowly, opened my laptop, feeling like I had finally made it. Week two was different. That's when the whisper started. What if this doesn't work? What if everyone was right? What if I just threw away my financial security for a hobby? When you leave traditional employment, you don't just lose a paycheck, you lose a clear answer to the question, what do you do? Now you're explaining a dream that hasn't happened yet. That kind of vulnerability hits harder than you expect. The comparison trap became my daily torture. I would watch creators who started after me already having triple my subscribers and better production quality. I convinced myself I would never catch up. Imposter syndrome isn't just a buzzword. It's sitting alone in a room talking to a camera, wondering if anyone actually cares. There were days I stared at a blank editing timeline thinking maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I didn't have anything worth saying. Maybe I should just go back to my whole job before it's too late. The hardest part was the silence. There was no boss telling me I was doing well, no performance review, no external validation, just me, the camera, and the space between the uploads. Some videos I love barely get views. Others I rush unexpectedly performed well. The randomness messed with your head because you try to find patterns in chaos. The shift that saved me was simple but powerful. I started treating emotional management like a skill, not a weakness. I scheduled my reflection time just like I scheduled my editing time. I journaled, I went for a walk without my phone. I talked to others, creators who understand the journey. The technical side of the YouTube can be learned. Managing your mind without structure or validation is the real challenge. I once learned to recognize the pattern like doubts showing up 3 days after posting or comparison creeping in when I was tired. I could manage them instead of being controlled by them. Now, let's talk about money because this is where fantasy meets reality. We've all seen the videos claiming massive income in the first month. Maybe that happens for some people. It didn't happen for me. So the reality of my first 90 days was going from a predictable paycheck every 2 weeks to complete uncertainty. Some money will come in, some days nothing would. Sometimes it was more than expected, and often it was less. I constantly run numbers in my head. If these brand deals land and that video performs well and membership stays steady, maybe I can cover my rent. That uncertainty affects your sleep, creativity, and confidence. I found myself checking my bank account multiple times a day. Every notification made my heart race. Here is what I learned. Before you make the leap, you need more saving than you think. 6 months might be the standard advice, but I would recommend 9 to 12 if possible. You need mental space. Desperation shows up in content whether you realize it or not. When you are stressed about money, You chase trend instead of building something meaningful. You say yes to sponsorship that don't align with your values. You create for algorithm instead of your audience. Diversification isn't optional. Ad revenue alone is unpredictable. You need multiple streams, membership, affiliate partnership, digital products, aligned sponsorship, not out of greed, but to create stability. The turning point came when I stopped chasing money directly and focused on creating real value. I started asking what my audience needed instead of what might get views. Those are very different questions. I built a simple spreadsheet to track every revenue stream clearly. Seeing everything laid out helped me make better decisions, and I learned to celebrate small wins. $100 a day meant something. One new member meant someone believed in what I was building. Those moments mattered more than I expected. Here is the paradox that almost broke me. I quit my job for more freedom, but I ended up working more hours than ever. When you are your own boss, every decision is yours. What to film, how to film it, when to edit, whether to upgrade equipment, whether the thumbnail is good enough, whether to rewrite the title. There is no off switch. Without structure, I filled every available hours with work because I felt like I should always be productive. I was busy, but I wasn't progressing. So I built a system. First is time blocking. I treated my calendar seriously. Creation time was sacred, editing time was protected, administrative tasks had their place, tasks stopped bleeding into each other. Second, the good enough principle. Perfect is the enemy of posted. Done is better than perfect. Shipping consistently beats endless tweaking. Third is boundaries. When work ends, it ends. I close the laptop. Burnout doesn't produce good content, and your audience can feel when you are exhausted. The biggest lesson was this: rest is productive, recovery is part of the process. One day, after a disappointing upload and reclining views, I realized something important. I was still measuring success like an employee. In a job, success is external. A boss tells you how you are doing. A performance review confirms it. A raise validates it. As a creator, that structure doesn't exist. You have to define what winning means to you. So I asked myself better question. Am I proud of what I'm creating? Am I helping even one person? Am I improving with each video? Am I building genuine connection? If the answer is yes, that is success. The mindset shift that saved me was realizing I am not waiting to become a successful creator. I am a creator right now. Success isn't a destination, it's the practice of showing up consistently. If you are about to make this leap or you are in the middle of it, here is what truly matters. Build a longer financial runway than you think you need. Create systems before chaos forces you to. Manage your mind like it's part of your job, because it is. Redefine success on your own time. The difference between people who make it and people who doesn't isn't talent, it's persistence through the uncomfortable middle. If this resonates with you, subscribe to the channel and let me know where you are in your creator journey. And if you want to go deeper into building a sustainable YouTube channel, check out the next video where I break down the content strategy that's working for me. Keep creating, guys.